Welcome, it's tea time. I'm Aaron Taylor, filling in for Jonathan Sellers this week, and joining me is Athletic Director John Hartwell. John, thanks for joining us for this week's It's Tea Time.
Sure, Aaron, great to be here, and good to have a smile on the face after a football W this weekend.
Big win for football, decisive win on homecoming, so it's almost like wrapped up with a little bow for all the Trojan football fans out there. So.
Yeah, it really was, and a good crowd, not a great crowd, but given the circumstances, certainly a good crowd, and great to see lots of folks who had not been back to campus for a while, and certainly a win that our football team certainly deserved and worked for, and after a week of a little out of the ordinary, it was tremendous to come out, and our guys played hard. Got off to a quick start and never really looked back. And lots of positive things on both sides of the football, as well as special teams too. So.
And of course, including we had Players of the Week this week out of that game. Jamal Statham for defense, and Chandler Worthy with that amazing run back in the game. So. Not only does it win, but conference recognition from that game as well.
Yeah, it really did. And, Jamal Statham had a tremendous game on the defensive line. Chandler, again, not only with his kickoff return, but also with some receiving yards. Brandon Silver's another very solid game. He gets better every week at quarterback. Ran the ball 20 times.
20 times for a quarterback. Around
yeah.
here, quarterback running 20 times has been unheard of the past few years. So.
Absolutely. Threw the ball for 230 plus yards. And, the thing about Brandon Silvers, and you talk about him running the ball 20 times, his toughness, I think, is infectious to the rest of our football team. The guys seem to respond real well to that. And, let's keep that streak going. First win of the season and an opportunity to get another big one this Saturday against Appalachian State.
And an emotional win in and of itself, because not to mention not having a win so far, homecoming, and then, of course, winning it after the announcement of Larry Blakeney's retirement this week. So
Sure, and, you flash back to 8 days ago to Larry's announcement of his retirement after a tremendous 24 years. You just can't say enough. Certainly the numbers speak for themselves. 175 wins, 5 conference championships, 5 bowl appearances, 7 out of 8 years at the 1AA level, making the playoffs. But as great as all the records are, let me correct myself, 176 wins now. That was after the announcement. Certainly that 176 win tied him for third all-time in the state of Alabama college coaches wins with Ralph Shug Jordan, who was his coach at Auburn and certainly a legendary guy himself. But, for all of the accolades and all of the records that Larry has had on the field, certainly his positive impact in the lives of young men, not only the guys that have played for him, but also you look at the guys that have coached for him in various capacities, whether it's graduate assistants, student assistants, volunteer assistants, full-time assistants, and look across the country at those guys scattered all over the place having tremendous success. Again, just speaks volumes for what he's done, not just for Troy football, but for college football in general.
And of course, after the press conference, after his announcement, a lot of the players, the words came out of their mouth, father figure. And it's somebody who meant a lot to them off the field as much as it did on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you don't use the word legend lightly, but certainly as it relates to Troy football, he is a legend. Just kind of a side story, all of that happened last Monday. On Tuesday evening, I was at an event at the Duke College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, and spent some time visiting with Archie Manning. And Archie, here's a guy that's arguably the most visible figure in college football. I know, by the way, has a couple of sons who are doing pretty well in the NFL.
I think we may have heard of them. So.
Too, and Archie was talking about what a positive impact that Larry has had on the game and what a tremendous career. And again, here's a guy, that's known across the game, not only at the college level, but the professional level, and singing the praises of Larry Blakeney.
And of course, you talk about a legend, and now let's talk about the unenviable task that you and your advisory board have of replacing a legend here at Troy.
Sure. Well, you can call it unenviable, but I'm kind of excited about it because certainly, again, very large shoes to fill in filling Larry's shoes. But, just in a week's time, the tremendous interest that we've had in the position from all walks of coaches, whether it be current assistants, and included in those are some, coordinators from BCS level schools. We've had interest from current FBS head coaches, some FCS head coaches, some guys that are currently in the professional ranks. Just tremendous interest so far. Obviously, most of that being routed through agents and other sources, but we're excited about the process. We do have a search advisory committee that is made up of 16 to 18 folks. So we're still trying to finalize those last couple, but a great cross section, folks who have played for Troy, who have worn the uniform over really a 50-year span. Representation from our board of trustees, representation from our foundation board, local business leaders, other leaders in the community, some folks from the university side of things. So a very good cross section, and a group that's going to offer some advice and counsel as we go through this process. But a best case scenario, we would have somebody in place or at least announced by December 1, and I'm hopeful for that. Kind of a worst case scenario, December 15, and really the reason for that time frame is obviously a lot of our candidates and potential candidates are currently employed coaching, and we don't want to be disruptive to their current seasons going on, just as we wouldn't want that to happen to us if the roles were reversed. So but tremendous interest so far. I'm excited about it. Again, big shoes to fill, but there's a tremendous foundation there for Troy football, and a tremendous opportunity for us going forward to reach even greater heights.
And now let's talk a little bit, I guess, general criteria, some things that you may be looking for in a candidate to replace Larry Blakeney.
Sure. Recruiting, the lifeblood of your program. Certainly want somebody that has a demonstrated track history of success on the recruiting trail. Somebody who brings a discipline to them in terms of accountability and discipline with the players. Certainly somebody, I'll be very interested in them talking about the assembly of their staff, because in today's world of a big-time college football coach, you're basically a CEO of a company. You can't, no matter how great you are as an individual, you can't do it all yourself, and you better surround yourself with successful people and folks who have the same core values and beliefs that you do. And certainly, the term sometimes is overused, but fit. It's got to be the right fit for us. I would like to have somebody who at some point in their career, whether playing or coaching, has been at a place that has not had unlimited resources, because I think it does force you to think outside the box.
You got to work with what you got.
Yeah, roll up your sleeves and go to work, and maybe some things that at a larger institution you wouldn't have to do yourself. Hey, you know what, you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and go to work. So, but I love the initial response we've had from candidates and potential candidates, and I think we're going to have a tremendous pool and look forward to the process.
And I know the Trojan Nation is eagerly awaiting that announcement, but while they're waiting, there's still some more football to be played, including a big matchup with a Sun Belt newcomer this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Appalachian State, and again, another program that at the FCS level and the old 1AA days has had tremendous success. They've won national championships. They beat Michigan when they were at, an FCS school.
One of the biggest upsets, they say, in football history. So.
Absolutely. And, they will come in here. They're a talented team. They've struggled this year, quite honestly, some. But, they're very capable. And at the same time, if last week is a glimpse of how we're going to play the remainder of the season, hey, we've got a tremendous opportunity to win 6, 7 ball games, and certainly 6 is that magic number for getting bowl eligible. I think our kids, the confidence of winning last week should build some confidence and help them be ready to play this week. 2 o'clock kick. We've got some things going on around the game. Pre-game on Tailgate Terrace, we'll have our fan day for men's and women's basketball, so our fans can come out, get posters signed, autographs, by our men's and women's basketball teams and their coaching staffs. Some other things going on surrounding. The other thing, the big thing, the 30-year celebration of the 1984 national championship team, and certainly one of those teams of history and of great lore in Troy football days. So come out and see a lot of those. I think we've got over 40 members of that team who have signed up to come back, so look forward to seeing those guys and visit with them. A busy weekend Friday. We have both volleyball starting at 6 here in Trojan Arena, and then right next door on the soccer field, soccer home at 7 o'clock, and then turn around and also have volleyball and soccer on Sunday afternoon as well.
Busy weekend for Trojan Athletics, but before we let you go, we got to talk about even though this is a pretty big moment on television right now, ESPN, Outside the Lines. Let's talk about that, the experience and getting a chance to be a part of that show and be able to represent Troy University.
Sure. Well, being on air with Bob Lee was not intimidating at all because, hey, I get to hang out with Aaron Taylor and Jonathan Sellers. So,
we prepared you for it.
Yeah, I was absolutely ready for that. No, a tremendous opportunity to create some exposure for Troy University. And, I credit Adam Prendergast and his staff for choosing a tremendous backdrop in Trojan Arena for that show that aired Sunday on both ESPN2 and ESPN News, and I think it re-airs sometime during the week this week. But an opportunity to talk about, the topic was alcohol sales in collegiate venues. Should there be sales or should there not be? Certainly we launched it last spring with baseball. We have it this year in football, and we were on the side of yes, we think there is a place for it. Of course, not just rolling it out there without caution, but certainly as we've done, take the industry standard precautions to make sure that it's done right, that you don't have folks who are overserved or underage drinking. And certainly one of my points was to make sure we want to be fan friendly and family friendly at the same time, and certainly respecting folks who have kids who are small children and don't want them subjected or exposed to the negative aspects of alcohol consumption. And responsible drinking is what it's all about. I used the analogy on there. Folks with families go to eat all the time at local restaurants, whether it be Ruby Tuesdays or Santa Fe or any place like that, and they serve alcohol.
Of course.
And if someone is in there that is overserved or intoxicated or causing problems, they're going to be asked to leave. We instill the same principles in our stadium. So, so far we have not had any significant alcohol related incidents, and certainly we'll continue to monitor and make sure that that's the way it goes. But it was a great opportunity.
Exciting time. And we're glad to have you representing the university and on the national stage in that respect. And here's hoping that we'll get a little more national exposure as maybe our athletic programs get a little more exposure. So
no question, success creates exposure. So certainly we'll continue to work every day to increase the success levels of all of our teams.
All right. Well, John, thanks for joining us on this week's It's Tea Time. And stay tuned for a little bit more about what's happening in Trojan athletics. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and I'm joined by Jason Hamilton. Jason, thanks for joining me here today.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about soccer, and not a great weekend for the soccer team.
Yeah, no, it was a rough weekend for us. We kind of expected it to be as much. Just having to go to North Carolina and Texas on the same weekend, but a little bit more disappointing than we would have liked it to be. Kind of got in our own way this weekend, and we're our own worst enemies. But it's kind of long season catches up to you. We knew at some point that we'd have one of these weekends, and this is probably the one we looking at the schedule, knew it would be just having to, the travel plans there. So just need to kind of rebound from it and move forward.
And a tough, that North Carolina to Texas and back, just kind of trying on the team, right?
Yeah. I mean, we use a lot of minutes with our starting lineup. So I think 13 games before this weekend, and throw the travel on there, we kind of realized that they just looked exhausted, and we got outworked in both games. So you got to give credit to both App State and Texas State for coming out and defending their home field. So just kind of hopefully we learn from it, we rebound, we made some adjustments this week in our training schedule to get a little bit more rest and just prepare for this week.
Well, let's talk about this week. You got both the Georgia teams coming into town. Talk about what you got going on this weekend.
Yeah, Friday night at 7 o'clock against Georgia State will be our last home game under the lights. So hopefully we can get a lot of fans out there to give us some support and give us that home field advantage. It's also our breast cancer awareness game. So, we're excited to be back home. 4 games left on the season, and we know we probably need at least 2 wins to be in that safe zone to get in the conference tournament. So, to be at home gives us that advantage. We've had success, but Georgia State's a good team. So we'll be a good game on Friday night, and then we'll turn around Sunday. We'll play Georgia Southern, who's sitting in first place in the conference right now. So both going to be very good games. But I think after this weekend, the team's ready to get back out there and go after it again.
And talk about Sunday's game. You got something special going on Sunday's game.
Yeah, absolutely. Sunday, a few things actually. Sunday's game is not only our senior day, but it's also the Project 19 game. So to go to support Kaylani and Project 19, we have some events going on there. We're going to be making a donation to a group that she picked with all the money that was raised for her. So we're excited about that and kind of be able to keep the Project 19 going that they started last year.
And then here's hoping that the Trojan fans, once again, like you said, come out and support the team for that last game under the lights here Friday night at 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock Friday night and 1 o'clock on Sunday. So last 2 opportunities to see us play at home.
And cheer you on and push you closer to conference championships. So,
absolutely.
All right, well, thanks for joining me this week.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for this segment of It's Tea Time. Stay tuned for some more after this. Welcome back for this segment. We have the head coach of the men's tennis team, Scott Kidd. Scott, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
And we're talking about the men's tennis team and the interesting thing about the fall. First off, let's talk about this, about the differences between the fall season and the spring season, because the meat of your season is in the spring. So what's the difference in what goes on between the fall and the spring?
Well, the fall basically it's more individualized. You're working with your guys, establishing the singles and doubles ranking. They have a national ranking. Tennis is one of the few sports in college that you actually get a team ranking as well as the singles and doubles rankings, because we have 2 championships. We have the team championships and then the individual championships. So you have two things to work towards. So the fall is basically used to establish a ranking in singles and doubles, and that also helps you going into the preseason rankings as a team. Of course, if you've got guys ranked, it helps to get you points and getting in the team ranked as well.
And of course, how do those rankings factor in to the spring? Once you get those rankings, how does it help or benefit the team?
Well, I think when the committee looks at it, I used to serve on a committee that they're looking at teams that have players ranked. Of course, more players you have ranked, whether it's in the national ranking poll or the regional ranking polls, they evaluate and look at that, and they kind of look at the depth on your team, returning players as well as new players, and and they look at results from last year. So kind of a lot of things they look at when compiling the rankings. So I think with us this year, we have basically a brand new team. So I think we have a good shot at getting a preseason ranking, I'm hoping, and we're doing well this fall, so I think we're heading in the right direction.
And you talk about it's basically a brand new team, and that's you're a relatively new coach to Troy, and you've created your own team in the short amount of time you've been here, right?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about this. Just finished my first year, so I have the opportunity of bringing in my own players, recruiting, so I was really excited for me and my coaching staff. We have one player returning that we inherited, and he's been an amazing leader. This, and then of course I brought in January Gabriel Diaz, who's a transfer from Texas Tech, played 2 for them, and he's a veteran this year as a senior, and he's having a great fall. Just come off a big win at the top flight at the Varner Classic down in Orlando. Daniel Bustamante, who's also one of our veterans, our team captain, had an amazing run at the All-American. Beating a top player from Wake Forest, was top 16 team. So we've got a lot of promising players this year that's really showing some enthusiasm. They're very motivated. They're working hard, training hard. So I think as a staff, we're very pleased where we're at this point.
And tell us what you've got coming up this weekend.
We'll be leaving tomorrow. We'll be going up to Auburn competing in the ITA, USTA regional championships, and of course that's the winner of the event in singles and doubles advances on to the indoor championships, which will be hosted at the U.S. Open site in Flushing Meadows. So it's a big opportunity. It's a tough region. It consists of teams from Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, but I think we've got a couple players that at the point we're playing right now, I think that they have a good opportunity.
And of course, here's hoping that players can succeed this weekend and also pick up some more exposure and higher rankings leading into the spring season.
Oh, definitely. So we'll be playing players in this region that are ranked. Anytime we can beat these players, it helps us to get points for ranking. So there's a lot of things at stake here. Definitely working toward rankings, which is our most important thing. And we would love to have at the end of the tournament to have the winner. I mean, it'd be awesome to advance on to New York. I've been there before, so I know what it takes to get there.
Big expectations and a big stage for the players. Well,
yes.
Good luck to the players this weekend.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all for this segment of It's Tea Time. Stay tuned for more about what's going on in Trojan volleyball. And we're back, and now we're going to learn a little bit about the world of volleyball. And with me is Lizzie Clow, the assistant volleyball coach. And Lizzie, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And filling in this week for Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick, who's not with us, but you're going to be able to tell us a little about what went on this weekend in Trojan volleyball. And not a great weekend for Trojan volleyball. You made the Louisiana road trip.
Right.
Things did not go as planned, right?
Right.
So fill us in on what went on in Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana, we had Monroe on Friday. We had Lafayette on Saturday. The way I see it, kind of two heartbreakers in my opinion. Another two 5-set losses. We didn't play as well as we could have on Friday, but Saturday we had we fought hard on Saturday. Once again, up 2-1. I think it just, in my opinion, goes back to a little bit of the confidence issue and some past injuries that we've had the past couple weeks that have kind of taken a toll on us and in our demeanor. But at the same time, we fought, like I said, we fought hard on Saturday especially after Friday. So I was proud to see that and see our confidence kind of come back a little bit. And so we got to keep pushing forward. We got to be able to finish whenever, in crucial times.
And of course, a pair of 5-set losses, and it's something that's not new to this volleyball team. How many 5-set losses have you guys had this season?
I think we're at 6 right now.
6.
Yeah.
So I think that's got to be maybe one of the tougher losses to get. I mean, if you get blown out right away, that's understandable. But if you go to the last wires, is that mentality? Am I right in thinking that?
Oh, those kind of hurt. They sting a little bit more for sure. And it definitely it means, in my opinion, too, that you have it. You're in the ball game. You have a good game plan. You're working on the right things and you're going in the right direction. Sometimes you just don't finish well, and so that's, I think, what we're struggling with right now, is just being able to finish.
Now, from a coaching standpoint, though, I would think that may be something that you can build on. Obviously,
Definitely.
coach is always looking for something to build on. But if you sit there and say, "Hey, we took him to the wire," you just got to get that extra element, right?
Oh, definitely, and that's what we've been really trying to instill in them, is to try to get that confidence back. Is you're there. I mean, you've put in the work, you've put in the hours, you put in the time, and you just got to get the crucial plays to get going in your direction, and we'll get there. I know we will.
And of course, now let's transition from Louisiana road trip to your back home, home sweet home for the volleyball team, the friendly confines of Trojan Arena. You got a pair of games this weekend. Give us the rundown.
We have Arkansas Little Rock on Friday at 6 p.m. and then we have Texas Arlington on Sunday at 12. Two really good teams. We have our work cut out for us this week, but the girls have been working really hard. Little Rock is on the up and up on their side. I think they're leading the conference right now. I'm almost positive. And we've actually played Arlington already at Arlington, and they're a tough. We lost in 5. They're a tough bunch too. So, like I said, we have our work cut out for us this week. But the girls are working hard. We came in, guns a-blazing yesterday, and same thing I expect out of them today. And they're working hard in the weight room. So I definitely expect good things this weekend.
And of course, you mentioned there the league leading Arkansas Little Rock, and that got to be a challenge in and of itself. So how do you come off of a weekend of tough losses to face the top team in the league?
I tell them every time, or that in the past already, that you just got to wake up and go to work the next day. I mean, that's just how it is. You can't treat it like anything else. The sun will come up again tomorrow, and you work just as hard as you did yesterday. And right now, in my opinion, we have to kind of build our mental toughness as far as in those matches and coming into those matches goes. But that's what this week's preparation is for, and I think they're doing a really good job with it right now. And we've got a couple more days to get prepared with it. So I'm excited for sure.
And here's hoping the Trojan fans can pack Trojan Arena and in a packed weekend of Trojan sports. 2 parts of the big packed weekend. Hopefully fans can go out there. And once again, when are those games?
They're on Friday at 6 p.m. and then Sunday at 12 o'clock.
All right. Well, here's hoping the fans turn out for those games and can see some big wins for the volleyball team.
It's been amazing, all season so far.
You've had a lot of fans turn out.
We have, and it's been unbelievable too. So.
Well, here's hoping more fans will show up for this weekend.
Yeah,
Thanks
sure.
for joining me.
Thank you.
And that's all the time we have for this week's It's Tea Time. Thanks for joining us.